Number 5. Mad Jack Churchill. In this photo, you see Mad Jack, as he was called by his fellow soldiers, holding a claymore and running into battle. Considering this was during World War II and not the medieval age, that's pretty badass. And what's even crazier is his use of bow and arrows on the battlefield. One general asked him why he used a sword, bow, and arrows, and he replied by saying, "In my opinion, sir, any officer who goes into action without his sword is improperly dressed." Number 4. Ghost Army. In this photo, you see some soldiers from the Ghost Army lifting an inflatable tank. They would go on to plant many of these inflatable tanks and many other dummies, props, whatever you want to call them. The enemies would see this and think they're real. They would also make dummy broadcasts and weapon noises from speakers to trick the Axis into thinking there's troops where there wasn't. This idea is genius in my opinion. Save money and lives. And what's even more crazy is that all this would happen a couple hundred yards away from the front line. Number 3. Starving Russian Mother. In this photo, you can see a starving Russian mother receiving rations from a German soldier in 1941. When you see this at first glance, it's quite nice, but it's also very ironic, because the very mission that soldier was sent on included German soldiers deliberately starving the Soviet population around them. Maybe he had a change of heart, maybe he felt remorse for his actions, we'll never know. Number 2. Hitler's Eyes. This here is a rare picture of Adolf Hitler in color. It shows his true eye color, but the one thing that you can't really show through a photograph is the countless amount of stories that say that Hitler's eyes had a very distinct hypnotic quality to them. Joseph Goebbels described one of his first meetings with Hitler in the diaries he kept as this: "Shakes my hand, like an old friend. And those big blue eyes, like stars. He is glad to see me. I am in heaven. That man has everything to be king." Also, here's a quote by a man who knew Hitler, describing the first time he heard him speak. "Hitler was a slight, pale man with brown hair parted to one side. He had steel blue eyes. He had the look of a fanatic. He held the audience, and me with them, under a hypnotic spell by the sheer force of his own conviction." Number 1. German POWs. This photo shows the reaction of German POWs, the majority of them being Nazis, watching footage about concentration camps. The thing that I find amazing about this photo though, is the range of emotions you can find on these men's faces, ranging all the way from intrigue, to horror, to remorse.